always this awkward aspect. But I do not see it on my. Oh no,
Should
there
get
we
our
go.
producer to take care of that.
We totally need a producer. Okay, so good morning, Jay.
Hey, good
Um,
morning, Lyle.
so I wanted to start the session by talking about an email I got from Claire McCrae, who sort of said, "Hey, I tried this a different way that was sort of more in line with the
Hmm.
idea of inheritance." And I think that that's a good thing. I like seeing both things side by side. Um, I thought that the way we did it last time went rather well,
Hmm.
but I thought it might be interesting since we sort of have this ability to roll back to not to the beginning of last week and try doing the same thing in a different methodology so we can just sort of contrast and compare how they move out. And there might be like one of them works better in this scenario, but it's still the situation that having both techniques can be really advantageous, and you can figure out which one will be better in your scenario if you get to see them both.
Okay,
Does that feel like an idea?
that sounds neat.
All right.
Um, One thing to notice about that is what what we did. So we're going to compare,
Yeah,
right, these two different options. What we did last time didn't quite finish,
that is
and
a fairly good point.
we like there was a point where it just seemed difficult, and so we left it, and then ran out of time, and that's normal.
So there's sort
And
of
this is
two ways we can approach that, right? We could try finishing this one and then rolling back, or we could try hitting the other one and saying, well, for the same time period, how does it
yeah,
compare?
I think that makes sense. So
Okay.
I want to notice where that difficult point was, which is right
Mm-hmm.
here, where it takes a cell with description. The cell description takes a lambda, and the lambda is a cell, but it only uses the location from that cell. And so, like, detangling through the lambda seemed difficult to us last time.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. All right, I will try to figure out the right place to roll back to. Let's see, 84728. So I think if we do that, it's the right starting point, and then we need a new branch. I did a little bit of cleanup on our branch, like reformat everything and update NuGet packages.
Mm-hmm.
There was a one of those I'm going to cherry pick. Can I cherry pick that here? See, I can't see the history
Yeah, so I can see the
of the
history,
other
but
branch.
this is not the best for cherry picking. I would just roll to the other one and make a branch from there.
So I we want to make a branch as of before last week,
Yeah. So
but I need changes that I made on our new branch on the. So I'm just going to cherry pick these two.
okay. Ah, right, because you updated.
Yeah, one of them was strange. The approval utilities was not properly a NuGet reference,
Oh,
and so on a new machine it was just missing.
well, that's weird because I thought approval utilities would have come from approvals. Oh, we might be
It,
using
it's
approval utilities inside of cells with now too.
I think at this point we're in the correct state. We need to make a branch for this. I already made a branch for today, so we need to make a new branch for today.
Or you can delete the branch for today and then, yeah.
Oh yeah, because we're not going to do anything else with it. I want to. I'm sure there's a way to do this. I want a way to say that branch over here, point it to over there, point it here.
I'm not sure I understand Git well enough to do that, but that's not to say that there isn't a way to do that in Git.
I think it's like checkout and it's like reset, but I want both. Anyway, uh, I wonder if I can come here. Oh, go away. What? I don't want this view.
To hit the
I don't.
click that next, just click the next. Got it. Yeah, there we go.
Okay. All right. Now I want to delete today's branch. There we go. Copy branch name first. Okay, we'll delete it. And then I'm going to make a new one. Oops.
You did that very quickly. Yeah, you don't want it based
Uh,
on master. Yeah,
yeah.
there you are.
I don't know if that's the right default, but whatever. That's what it is. Okay, I think we're in the right state now. Let's take a look
Sounds
at it
good.
in this view. This is 728 2 weeks ago plus 2 NUGET changes.
Okay. And it's building right now.
Yeah.
All
It's
right.
green.
So we are going to take a sort of, we're going to lean a little bit on the compiler, and we are going to take a different approach. So approach number one is we are just going to rename cell to position.
Location or position?
Ooh,
Last time we
your
did
choice.
location.
Let's use location again. Yep.
Rename all these symbols?
Yep.
Okay. No.
That should work, but
I think
did
so, but it
not
might need.
work.
Well, give it time. Wait, no, I think that's enough time. It is finished churning.
So
It's just
what?
still working. It says here the type or namespace cell could not be found, but that says location.
Okay. You want to do like a manual build?
I don't know why that's confusing for it. But
I mean, a lot of stuff just changed. It might be not expecting that.
it's like a late excuse.
It seems still like things are not building.
If I just do a regular build, what does that do?
It failed. Which one failed?
Oh, is it like this file save problem?
I don't know. What is it saying failed?
Right here, this location, it said that it didn't recognize the word cell, but it's not cell, it's location.
Add a space and hit save again.
Uh, it, so here's what I noticed. When I opened this file, it was unsaved.
Okay. And then just saved everything.
Okay, so here, I'm going to do this really slowly. I'm going to double click here and see how the file says unsaved
Yeah.
and it has the right text.
So double click on
So
everything and just open everything
yeah,
and then save everything.
it was weird. So it was like changed in the background.
Weird. I don't understand what that means, but okay. At least my faith in ReSharper is a little bit better. Some combination of ReSharper and Visual Studio and InCrunch is not better. But this is a commit.
I'm going to agree on that.
And I am super, super glad for the lowercase r in this commit because that's a lot of stuff changed.
Back to location.
Cool. So now we are going to do a crazy thing, and we are going to extract a superclass on location.
Not the other way around?
A subclass, location
Are we,
as a cell.
because no, because we're trying to separate value from this. So that means we want to derive class from this that inherits from location and try to push value down.
Yeah, that I'm doing I want to push value. Well, I get confused on where down and up is now.
Okay.
But I want a class called cell, and I want it to extend location. That's what I'm looking for. Good.
Okay.
And then I want to go and grab the thing we care about, value. So let's grab value.
First, we have to implement this. So is that the right?
No. So don't implement this quite yet. So grab value on line 16 and move it
Okay.
up into line 8. We're going to break a whole bunch of stuff.
All right.
And then this location, delete the value equals 0 in there.
You want me to remove the whole parameter?
Yep. And scroll down. Where else do we have a?
There.
Yep. Scroll down there. And then scroll down. So with value, this is going to return us and not a location. This is going to return a cell. And then that's going to do a new cell. And then if we scroll down, that's okay. We want to create that. Yeah. So that's the last red. So here, make that exist. No, it has to have all three things.
No. Location or a row
column?
No.
For now, row column.
Okay.
There we go. And then hold on. So you can, or you can just do super. Yeah, base, whatever.
Okay, this file is all right. Now you want to walk through errors in the system?
Exactly. Now we're going to go to errors.
I'm hoping that this keystroke will take me to an error.
You might need to do a build that's not NuGet. Okay, so this has a cell .value, so this has to actually be a cell.
Okay. And it comes from here.
Yep.
So are we going to go change this thing to be an actual cell?
It looks like it.
So this needs to return a cell.
Yep. And then here.
This might be really good if it's the minority case. If most are location and some are cell.
Which I think it is.
Cool.
But again, like our point is just to see how these two compare, not to say which is right for their context.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, that's there.
That has to be a cell.
I'm hoping. Okay, I went the wrong direction. All right, this thing results is right there, and now more stuff blows up.
Good.
That was okay.
What else does our error list tell us?
Just the one.
Are we green right now?
No.
Okay, so now let's go
we have
here.
One error.
Okay, so this means that this set value needs to be a cell.
So callers to this
needs to be fixed somewhere.
So this cell says it's a cell. It is a cell, but we don't want. This is. This feels weird.
Okay, no, this is fine. So here we're creating a location from index. That's great. Where are we setting the value on this cell?
We're not. It's setting it to unknown.
Okay.
It's clearing.
So so on the line above that, just say cell.setValue. Or
so actually, in this case, cell is a location.
In this particular case, what I really want to do is on line 186, do a cell comma unknown. Yeah. And then create that.
So there's a set value that takes row column.
Yeah, we want one that takes a location and a value.
Okay.
And set value. Yeah, location dot row, location dot no lower. Yeah. There we go. And then what else is failing? All right, and let's see if it's green. Okay, let's do a capital R here with converted location and cell.
Yeah, I would count that as faster than last week's.
Yeah, but I don't think we're done.
Okay.
So let's go to location. And is that, maybe we are done. Scroll down. Well, okay, so what really, okay, what we want is cell to have a location, not
Yeah.
be a location. So let's do that as well. So
Let's change this parameter to location first. We'd rather construct these with a location instead of a row and a column.
no, don't do that yet.
Okay.
I'm not disagreeing that that's a good thing to do. Let's do this part first. Because,
So you want to
yeah,
change this to
to just
containment.
delete that. And in here, public read-only location and a get location. Yeah. You have it as a read-only, but it really should just be like a, you know, whatever those things are called.
Property.
Yeah.
It's not your fault that this is dumb.
It needs a private setter, right?
No.
Oh, really? Is that new?
Like 5+ years.
Okay. I'm just out of touch. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So this is an immutable property.
So now things should break. Yep. And let's go to the breaks. So this one be cell.location.row. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I should have done this one smarter.
You want to try again?
Maybe. Go one more minute, and if it's much more, the answer is going to become yes.
And back to green, I think.
Okay, in that case, this was definitely better. So I think what you're saying though is dead on, which is that the reason this was better is because the thing we were trying to take care of was the minority. Mm-hmm. Right? There's only a few instances where we actually wanted cell. And therefore just dealing with them by compiler was easier.
Yep.
Yeah.
Time for this now?
I mean, sure, yeah, let's do it. I think we probably only have like one place where we use this. Scroll down. Like there, yeah. This.
This is
this.
Oh, okay.
And do we have any other place that we use this? Yep, just get rid of that.
That one felt good.
That does feel good. Although you can just do a dot with value on this one. Right? Like, so instead of saying new cell, say block dot with value digit.
So that's cool. Is right now the right? I mean, I'll totally do that. Is right now the right time to do that? Is that a distraction or is that on target for us?
I mean, it's not like we're going to come back to this part and fix it later.
Yeah, it's true. Like it's a little bit of cruft, but there's lots of little bits of
This
cruft.
is like cleaning while you cook, right? It's like
Okay.
we're right to here. We see the problem. Yeah, fix it. Because I'm not going to remember. I'm not putting that on a to-do list.
So I think the next thing is to go look for places that use unknown and as a way of treating a cell like a location.
Well, we barely have any places that we use cell now, right?
So okay, that one's totally legit. That that is its purpose. This is also fine. Probably this whole file is fine. Let's go to the next one.
Yeah, I'm cool looking at it.
It's all right. Yeah, I think you're right. I'm gonna go look at cell again. Actually, let's move cell to its own file. Yeah, cell no longer has a default constructor. That is great.
Yeah. So now we have this weird thing that's occurring, which is let's go look at that lambda, that cell with description, because I think that now is just using location. Yeah, it doesn't even use a cell, so we don't even have
It's
to ask the
great.
question.
Yeah. Also, last time we had a lot of we pushed a lot of things up in methods, and the callers ended up with extra local variables that they didn't really want,
Yeah.
just as a consequence of that automation.
And this now is the wrong name. This should be location with description.
Yeah.
Rename that.
Oh, that's wrong. There we go. Yeah, replacing in strings is a little bit too helpful.
Now let's talk about the weirdness of Git. Because we have this situation where um, yes, you did miss the beginning of this, Claire. We talked about you and said we are going to try it this way to see how it compares. So we rolled back and started again. And so far we are much happier with this solution for this context. We think the reason is because cell is so few of it. So the next thing that is here is, should we like tag this part of the commit? Should we branch again as a comparison? Like, or should we just put it all together and move forward? And
What do you mean altogether? I don't
well,
understand.
so like we now have two branches that sort of are comparable to each other.
Uh-huh.
And
We should.
is it worth demarcating that? Because we're about to now venture into unknown newness.
Oh, I see. I don't know. Okay, there's some kind of safe stray file that was blocking that rename, and I want to do the rename.
So Claire is pointing out it'd be interesting to diff the two branches, which really makes me feel like we should like do something to branch it. What rename are you getting blocked on?
I renamed this one to cell with the location with description.
Yeah.
And it said, hey, that file already exists. And maybe now it's gone.
Okay.
That's better.
Okay.
And I think there's one more to look at.
What else do you got to look at? Cell with possibilities. That does strike me as a cell, though.
Except that's not what the code says.
No. It is, though, because, okay, so a cell is a location and a value.
Mm-hmm.
A cell with possibilities is a location and a list of possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is actually.
So I agree that the members are location and possibilities. But is this not redundant then? If cell is a location and a value, it's a location and a value and possibilities.
No, but this one doesn't have a value. It only has possibilities.
Okay.
Like it in one, we're saying like, here is a piece on the locate. A cell is a part. Like I'm defining definition right now, but here is a location on the board with context, and the other one is agnostic to a board. And one
Okay.
is like a cell. The default cell has a value, and this is saying this cell has possibilities. Oh, Claire is also pointing out that possibilities is spelled wrong. And she spelled it right.
That doesn't help us find it at all.
It really doesn't. Just Google it.
That's okay. We just right there.
Oh yeah, probably that one. There we are.
It's kind of a neat trick that ReSharper's spell checker tells you have a misspelled word and offers to rename to the well-spelled word. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm very glad I don't actually need spelling in this world.
What about here?
Several parameters called cell 1, cell 2 that weren't picked up in the rename. So, oh, you renamed it to location with description instead of. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Um,
I was just looking at little variables named cell and
that
wondering which of them
kind of
should be
aren't.
renamed. And this one was never, well, I don't know. This is a cell descriptions.
Yeah.
Maybe I just rename this to C. That's your style.
Yeah. Except for cells with descriptions are actually now locations with descriptions.
Yeah. But in this context, I don't know.
Oh, you can rename that though at the parameter level. Yep.
Oh, was there something else to rename there? Is that this thing? Should be
Yeah,
location of description.
Yeah. You also have something on 41. In fact, I would just do an overall search for cells with descriptions, as they are all going to be locations with descriptions. Yeah. And check that rebuilds and we just did a not great rename, but we have really good tests.
It's not a useful comment. I don't care. Do you want this to be C or L?
L.
Or L? LD.
Or D even. Yeah, D.
This one's okay. This is possibilities.
Oh.
Maybe.
Okay.
It's called cells with additional possibilities, but the type is location with description. Should do that.
Sure.
Okay, so it was pretty fun to do the location separation. This part seems boring.
Yeah.
Should we not do it?
Yeah.
Should we? Okay.
So my thought here is like, until we come back to here, just, I mean, it's not a big enough, it's not like we're really stranding whoever's here before, right? Or whoever comes after us. And yeah, it's better, but It's not that much better, and if we're not looking at it anyways,
Hmm.
I think boring is a good symbol that like maybe this isn't the right one.
Okay. It's too bad the automatic rename doesn't offer location one right here.
Yeah. Claire's also pointing out, can you diff the two branches? I don't actually know
Yeah,
how to do that. How do you do that?
I will try. So we are here and we're trying to compare it to here. Can I do that? No. Can I? None of those. All right, just command line. I feel like this got cloned to the wrong location. Yeah, so I don't know where my code is.
Right click on the code and say open in Finder or Explorer.
Yeah, I cloned to
Oh, weird.
user folder.
Did your script work weird?
No, I did part of it. I ran the wrong script. It's not
You did
interesting.
manual stuff.
I did manual
This
stuff.
is what you get for manual stuff.
Yeah, we shouldn't let humans near computers.
Claire also points out you can push to GitHub and compare it there.
Okay. All right, that's not a useful view of the diff. Let's push.
Yep. You can do this just in GitHub desktop.
It's true.
It would also have a button that takes you to the actual repo. View on GitHub. Wait, what?
Oh, this is the original.
Oh, interesting. It doesn't take us to our. Huh. I am very surprised by that.
Yeah, we're not really creating pull requests. We just want to compare.
Yeah. Interesting. Oh, not to master.
Where are my other branches? Oh, it was just being slow. Okay.
Well, we do have a lot of branches.
We're really powerful programmers. All right. Okay, that's not interesting. So, okay, this had the constructor around. So this isn't the right comparison.
Well, I think it might be because I think the problem that's happening is that our cell.cs includes location now.
Location's in its own
Its own
file here.
thing. Oh, okay.
Maybe in the other one we didn't pull it out.
Go back to the comparison then. Oh, so it's just saying
This is
all this
still,
stuff is deleted. Yeah, that's right.
yeah, but we're comparing 8.4 last time to 8.11 this time, and this is class cell. And
Mm-hmm.
class cell says last time contained a
Oh, it did
column row
not. Yeah,
value.
that's not right at all. Scroll up. Check our.
Oh, I know what it is. Oh, this is terrible. Okay, get comparison is really strange. If you want to say compare branch A to branch B, depending on how you say it, what you're really saying is tell me about the things that are in B but not in A, but it doesn't tell you about the things that are in A that are not in B.
Oh,
And that's relevant to this arrow being here. So let's see if we can
yeah.
find a compare feature in here somewhere as opposed to a pull request feature. Let's see. I don't already know how
The
to
other
do
thing to
this.
do would be just to Google how do you compare two branches. Get compare two branches.
I mean,
Or
we
get
have it on
GitHub
the,
compare two branches. I'm good with
yeah.
that.
Yeah, this is still doing the same thing. It's still that
Still
arrow.
arrowed.
Yeah.
I mean, we could do both compares.
Okay, I know what to do.
We will leave comparing to to a
Uh, I,
different thing. Uh,
I think I want to try one more
GitHub
thing.
URL/compare is what Claire is saying, but I think that's giving us the same.
Yeah, so I just saw a note in that doc, which is the number of dots you have
Yeah.
changes the compare mode. So
Oh,
we're going to play with both.
okay.
So this is, I think, the wrong one. And we're going to remove a dot right there.
And this is okay.
That that looks
Still
right.
looks. I guess so. I don't know. Something. Oh no, yeah, because there's a location there. Yeah, and yeah. Okay, that's good. Because I think before we had a cell that took. We kept more cruft
In cell.
in cell. Yeah, like cell has a 2 string that we didn't need,
Yeah.
which is interesting, by the way.
We wish you could look at each of these and decide if any of them
Yeah.
are there any cases where a caller is using a location and should be using a cell?
And here we had a with value from on a cell, which we only needed on location.
Right. Okay, that one's
Because
fine.
that's there. The for board we
That should move.
didn't need anywhere. Yeah.
No, it's just it's on the wrong class.
No,
It's
it's on
static.
location. It's on the right class now. It was on the wrong class when we tried it the other way. When we tried to pull it out, we didn't pull out as many things as we needed to. Like this is a
Okay.
much better solution that we have right now.
All right. What else? Load diff. Come back.
Yeah,
File
I
was
mean that's
deleted.
just
Okay, whatever.
changing the thing. Yeah.
Okay, here. I renamed call to column in the process.
Nice.
Yeah, I kind of want that not to be in this diff right now, but oh
It's
well.
okay.
Block is here.
Yeah, and block is correct. That's part of location.
Did we just put it in a different place last time?
No, it's just
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. What happened? Where is block from the red? There it is.
We might not have. Oh, it's just yeah. I
It's
guess
just
it's a
different
different
order.
order.
Oh, I see one thing I think I want to change, which is
Equals.
I want
Oh, that's super interesting. So we did add the equals equality methods that we have not added in here because we don't need them.
okay. It's a trigger for me.
Yeah,
So
I totally understand that, right? Because I want.
cell has no behaviors on it.
Yeah.
I thought it would at least
No,
have
it
like
has
one.
value.
No, it has two members. It has two fields,
It's two
but it
fields.
has
No
no
behaviors.
behaviors.
Yeah.
I thought it would at least have one behavior of some kind.
Yeah. Right. Which is great. Like I love that this is letting the code show us what is needed way more than what we think is needed.
Yeah, neat.
Yeah. And again, like I definitely think the advantage that we have going in this direct, like using this technique in our context, is that really cell wasn't used very often. Like we really should have started with location. But this technique was fast enough that I don't mind that we goofed it up.
What did
Claire
we
is
goof
pointing
up?
out that without the renames, the diffs would be tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that is actually true. I mean, one thing that's worth doing is if we just go look, don't do a compare against the two branches. Just compare. I want to compare two things in a branch. So go to probably Visual Studio is the way to do this. And go look on our branch that we're currently on. And where did we do move cell to file? So, wait, where did today start? Yeah.
Right here. Ish.
So I think like by the point that we got the use with value, that to the top is the really, yeah, because after that's a lot of renaming. So
I want
don't
to
go
see
to the rename class. Go to the,
Yeah, I really want to click here and show me the diff for this.
well, show me the
Like,
diff between those two and the other one.
okay, let's view. Wow, really need space.
Actually, and not even cell to location. Do it from there to down more to convert location. Nope, convert location to cell. So up to that to that. That is sort of what we did after we changed everything to cell. Right? So here this is where we pulled out cell, and this is the separation of cell from location.
Let's go do the GitHub diff with this revision.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah.
Did that do what we wanted it to do?
Yeah, so cell with description. Everywhere it was a cell takes a location.
Yeah, but that's okay.
Cell with possibilities
No,
has a
but this is
location.
doing, because that would have happened when we just converted things to cell. So a cell with description takes a cell?
In head, we've renamed cell with description to location with description.
Yes.
But because I'm diffing earlier to reduce the size of the diff,
Yeah. But here it's showing us, it says location instead of cell. What I want it to show us is where does it say cell where it used to be location?
Okay, hold that thought for just a minute.
Okay, yeah.
Clara said a bunch of things. So one of them was you could always diff to just before you renamed everything. That's this point. Without the renames, the diffs would be tiny. That's what we're looking at now.
Yeah. But this is here we're seeing the renames, is my point.
There's no rename here.
Cell with description is taking a location, not a cell.
That's not a rename. That's a different object.
No, it's not. Because we rename cell to location.
That was what we did at the beginning.
Yeah.
But I think what Claire's talking about is...
But we've ended up on location, so it's not a rename.
I think what Claire's talking about, she can correct me, is cell with description. We renamed to location with description. And all of the variables that were cell with description renamed as well. And that created a large visual diff that is not a change of the types. And so by comparing before that rename, we see the actual impact of the code that we had, which is cell with description used to take a cell, now takes a location. And look how much cleaner that is. ToString just says index instead of cell location.
Yeah.
To index. Cool. And cell with possibilities is really simple, but let's look at not location. Let's look at something more interesting. Here, this becomes simpler because it's c.location.
Claire is emphatically agreeing with you.
Yeah. Thanks, Claire. All right. So I told you to hold that thought earlier. Do we need to come back to that thought?
No, I think we're good. So should we go back to the code then?
Sure.
Do we want to do like a commit here and make a second branch, or what do we want to do? Sure, I feel like this is now done. And we should be like removing a to-do and checking a different to-do.
Okay, let's check for to-dos, and maybe there's one we can remove.
Yeah, separate location. That one's done. Sudoku board. Clean up this method.
Let's give this a better name.
Yep, go to that.
It's not that much better. Okay, there we go. And then you suggested a new branch. So I thought maybe we'd do 20.
B. There we go.
I'd rename it what we're going to do, but we never know what it is. So.
Yeah, I think that's good. Separate row and column into its own class.
Yeah, did that. So we got a few options. There's this one.
Yeah.
Clean this method.
I'm good with that.
Make this class tell a better story so the flow is more obvious. There's clean this method.
Right now. This one we should definitely do, but not right now.
Okay.
So, I like the little one because we were low on time.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. So what are we doing here? We get board as numbers, and then we iterate through it, and then we check if it's equal to 0.
Which is unknown, right?
Yeah. So let's hit that to unknown. What is this returning? This is returning candidates?
What is candidates?
Candidates. It's an array of masks, basically.
Yeah, I kind of don't. I don't know. That doesn't immediately make sense to me.
Yeah, fair enough. But let's go a little bit more down here. So here, go to get board as numbers. So this gets it as a whole bunch of integer arrays. Do we have like a get board as cells? Okay, so I almost want to get board as cells.
Okay.
But let's go back to where we are to that thing.
This is
to the method that we're cleaning.
Okay, I don't know where that is. Let me find that again.
There is that one. All right. So here, like what we're trying to do is get all the things, and then scroll down. Oh, that's interesting. So if it is here, if it is unknown, if it's not unknown, we don't do anything. We get the board as numbers. What do we do with get boards as numbers other than we just create the candidates mask? So a lot of these masks literally have nothing in it, which is interesting. They're like 0. So if it's 0, then there is no candidates. I guess that makes sense. And so then we go through here. Here we do a row. We want a location here is what we want. Mm-hmm. So just do a location, location dot from position, from index of I, and hold on to that. Yeah. And then let's just right now row equals location. Well, just put it in for a second. Say row equals location dot row, and column equals location dot column, and that should be a totally valid thing. And then we can inline those. And then what's going on with block row and block column?
So location row divided by 3 times 3 is mod, not mod, it's a round.
Are we just asking for the block though?
And then it adds j and then it divides by 3 again.
So we have row sibling index. What does that mean? Because it looks like what we're trying to do here is we're going from 1 to 9, and then we're putting in the masks of the board as numbers. Wait, what? So here we do board as numbers. Here -1. What's going on with line 30? Why the -1? What happens if you left shift -1?
You get a 0 at the end. But that's not, take a number and subtract 1 from it and shift left
So if the
that.
number is 0,
Then it becomes -1, which is all bits on. And if you shift it left, then it's 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0.
no, 0 is all bits off. No, it's not
Oh,
-1.
by, okay.
It's
Oh,
1.
is that shifted? Does that become shift right?
I don't know.
Does this get modified as we go?
Board as numbers? No. Board as
So
numbers is non-modified.
it's saying for each thing that's unknown, go look around that unknown thing and discern other information.
Yeah. But this creates the colliding numbers, and then when it's all done, we get rid of the colliding numbers. Claire's suggesting capture this, which I'm almost for. The thing though is I'm almost thinking alternative solution right. So here we create the board's numbers this ways. What we really want is, can we go to Sudoku, to the thing we're creating here, this candidates? No, the actual class candidates.
How? Oh, so we're mutating this object that is in that other class. Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, but we'll come back to that. Go to candidates. So here we have an ability to get all the masks, right? But what I really want, can we see who calls this mask.get?
Can we rename one of these?
Uh, sure.
Which one do you want to
Masks.
rename?
These
Okay.
are masks. But go
You said
find out who calls masks.
it's all in this file.
Is digit possible? So here, what I really want is, so then we do a get mask for digit, and that gives us, wait, and then here is, okay. So go back to this, to candidates.
I'm noticing this is the only call to is any digit possible? Should this line move into is any digit possible?
Not yet. I'm not disagreeing that it should. It's just my stacking is getting high. So
All right.
make a new function here. And here I want to get possibilities, or yeah, get possibilities. This is going to be, yeah. So you're going to take the masks and you're going to do a select on it. No. Yeah, so yeah, you can say like return for a second here. Mass.select, and then is there a select that gives you the index as well?
Hmm.
And then goes to new cell with possibilities, which takes an index, which is going to be I. And then let's take that masks, and there's something on Sudoku board. So Sudoku board dot uh, get digits for mask. Yeah. And then return that. You should just quick fix it. Yeah. Okay. And then maybe there's a parenthesis extra or something. What's going on? Yeah. So this is going to work because it's just dead code, but let's not commit this yet. So here, instead of saying get candidates.mask, I want to say get candidates.get possibilities.
So this get candidates. Okay.
Public dot where p dot get, or we want the location to equal the location, but I think location doesn't have inequalities right now. P dot location equals location. And then this is not going to work right now because we don't have equality on location. So can we add that? And that takes away that tick of yours.
All right. What do we do with this information?
So here is any digit possible or what we're trying to say is the digit possible for this location? So this gives us the candidates mask, and then next line just say candidates mask. Oh, sorry. This is no longer. So instead of a where, do a first or single.
Single. Okay.
Yeah. And then in the next line, say return candidates mask dot possibilities dot contains the digit, and that should be the same. There's a whole bunch of things I like if this is true. Damn.
Timeout.
Timeout. Do you think we're going too far? Go to the candidates. I think what we have is just a caching issue right now. Can you? Is masks are still being referred to? Yeah, lots of places. But can you take this get possibilities and store it into possibilities? So on line 11 and a half, you're going to say possibilities in capitals.
See what you're doing. Okay.
It doesn't exist, but just no. I don't.
This,
Okay. But I still think this is a caching issue. So yeah, there, and then set it here. Yeah. This might fail for a really weird reason. Can we go to the thing that creates the candidates? I think that,
Timed out again.
what?
Timed out again.
It timed out?
Yep.
Huh.
So you mentioned caching issue. This thing deliberately mutates what's in that object.
Yeah. Can we just move candidates down to the like 141? But it might still be mutating after this is. We're in timeout again, aren't we?
Looks like.
Yeah. All right, revert. Too far down the.
All right. Claire asked a question about approving the behavior that we're trying to wrestle with to visualize what it does. Is that something we should do?
No. Wait, I still want to figure out what just happened.
Okay.
So jump back to candidates. Let's try this one again. So here we're doing the mask. So let's go to the place that calls the mask. And let's do this. Let's do what we did here. So we're going to do get candidates here, dot mask, dot select.
You want that same algorithm?
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, this whole thing is right.
And then do a dot first. And then
Single?
single, yeah. Or location.
This is a.
And did we do the equality on location?
We destroyed it.
All right. So let's do that equality on location. Plus side is not timing out on us right now. There we go. So now let's go back. And then, oh, it's weird though. It shouldn't be compiling.
Well, we're not storing it anywhere. So you want to say possibilities is where we want to go?
Yeah, contains digits, and then return that. Are we timing out?
Maybe. Looks like yes. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. So do one thing. Put a where right after the masks. And can you put an index in here?
Mm-hmm. Oh, here, I don't. Let's try it. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so where I equals location dot to index. So we're just not calculating the possibilities on the things that. Oh,
It just plain fails.
that just plain fails. Okay, well, that's good But why does it fail? So now, like, you feel like this is saying that something in our logic is way wrong, right?
I wanted a diff. Yeah. Do you want to see the diff approval? That's where I was
Sure.
going. What if there was a default, just use reporter with no parameter?
Then nobody knows how to set reporters.
Is it doing anything? It feels very stuck. Okay.
Yeah. Sequence contains no matching element. Actually, that's a different thing. Go back.
You're right.
So here,
We're not seeing coverage dots.
no, because, oh, yeah, we're not. That's weird.
There should be dots saying this isn't covered if it's not getting here.
But so here, we select, we do a single. We actually don't need the single anymore. You can take it out.
Well, we got it. You
You
mean
can take
we
out
don't
the
need
comparison because we're filtering ahead of time. Oh, no, things are bad. Because look, now the because we do the where early, our select
has the wrong
index is the wrong index. So it's a no. Put the where early. In our select, don't put the index. Only put the M. And for right now, in the cells with possibilities, instead of putting I, put that. I mean, still failing, but why do I not understand this logic? Isn't that what this is doing? It's getting the masks it's getting the masks, it's getting the mask for the digit. Oh, sorry. That's our problem. Get digits for mask M. No, that's the mask. That's just where we're saying, is any digit possible? Oh. No, yeah, no. That's what we're saying. Cells with possibilities. Get digits for mask. That's the right thing. And then we're checking, is this digit in the digits? I don't understand what's going on. Do you understand what's going on, Jay?
Nope.
All right, revert.
And retro?
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and push now just so I don't forget.
Did we do anything? Yeah, we did, but not much. Sequence contains no matching element. It does. It always has to. All right. So we got two big parts that occurred here. The converting that method, and we had the comparison rename or location. So we have location, and then we have the other thing we did. With mask, there we are. Okay. So let's start with location. So in emotions, I just want to put frustration because I feel like that's something I should understand and that I obviously don't. And that, what is frustration telling you? It's telling me it's anger and impotence. So anger is something important to you, which I guess is I should be able to understand. Like this is code that I should understand. It would be nice if it had timestamps. Um, the okay, let's go to location. So the first thing is I think it was just interesting as a pattern to sort of revert and try the same type of refactoring in a different way. That's something we don't do as a team hardly at all. The only time I see this happening is so like this usually doesn't happen with refactoring, but it usually happens with like implementation, like brand new implementation, where it's like one person on the mob will have one idea and one person on the mob will have another, and then like as per protocol, we do both, and then we decide which one we like better, right?
Yeah.
But that's almost never for refactoring, or at least I don't think I've experienced it in refactoring. Whereas here, we did it on refactoring. Usually that's for like new behavior. And, you know, it might be helpful that we're on Twitch, that we're willing to say, hey, let's experiment with a brand new way. Where if we were in the real work world, I wonder if we would have done that or if we would have just said, let's, it works. Let's just move.
Both strategies were aiming for similar outcomes.
Yeah.
So
Well,
if one of them misses the mark a little bit, what
yeah.
we'll normally do is just refactor some more
Yeah.
instead of go back and try again.
Maybe we should be doing more comparison refactorings.
One way I do that is we'll look at code and say, this code is hard to test like this. Here's a couple different ideas about how we might make it easier to test.
Yeah.
And okay, so I'm going to tell you the story, but the significance is in my brain already.
Okay.
We'll refactor and write a test, and then we'll do several and look at the result. But I think the difference is before we start, we already have a plan of trying multiple.
Yeah.
And we didn't do that with this refactoring. We started at the beginning of this exercise last week. We said, we know where we want to get to. There wasn't a question of that. It was just how to get there.
That's true.
And we didn't start with, we have two ideas about how to get there. Let's try both. But we could have said that at the beginning last week.
No, we did actually say that.
Or let's try both.
No, we didn't say let's try both. We said we had two ideas.
Yeah, right. We have two ideas, but we picked one instead of two ideas, and let's plan to try both. And so what I'm noticing is it wasn't until Claire said, hey, I tried the other way and got this interesting result, that it occurred to us to go back and try again.
Yeah, that's true.
Why didn't, so without Claire, it would have, the difference would have been whether up front we said, let's try both.
Yeah.
Why is that we depend on the upfront decision to try both? Is it a sunk cost thing?
More Claire.
Yeah, could be that.
I mean, like that one option here is that, like this is a downside of pairing versus mobbing, right? Like there's less voices. But the other option is that maybe we're just not in the pattern of trying multiple refactorings.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what's Claire saying? So Claire says it seems like it should have been a simple change and it wasn't.
So Claire did, in retrospect, see that our approach wasn't going as quickly as it should, and thought of the other one.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah. Either way, I'm really glad that we tried it. So under emotions, there's joy. And again, joy is saying something surprising happened, pay attention and do it again. So I think what that's saying is pay attention to next time, like we're refactoring in a mob and we have two different ideas. Try both of them and see if it continues to yield good results. Like I will say from new implementation, using that pattern in the mob, very often doing things that don't work out and that I up front thought would not work out have led to really better results. Right? So it's not like we did this thing and it didn't I didn't think it would work and hey, it didn't work, but I learned something from that process that has made me a better programmer in the future.
Hmm.
Or and this is also valuable, but I'm very selfish, so I'm more concerned with the made me a better programmer. but but it's also the case that sometimes it didn't work out and other people on the team understood or learn more about why it doesn't work out, so we don't have to fight as much in the future, or it's easier for them to accept the solution. Right? These are all also really good positive things, right? That makes your team stronger. Right? And there's even value in just it didn't work out, and there is value in knowing you are with a group of people who are willing to make a mistake with you.
Hmm.
Right? Like that is actually really that is way more valuable than I realized. Right? That someone's like, "Yeah, this is a bad idea, but you don't have to do it alone. I will do it with you." Like that is having someone who is willing to say that really means a lot. And yeah. So yeah. So okay, so let's jump into the code side of what we did that was different. Right? And so when we did location, so when we did cell, okay, so under location, give me a box that says cell. Like so the first one was extract location, and the second one was extract cell. And so when we extracted location, we had to figure out all the places that we didn't need cell. But when we extracted cell, we had to figure out all the places that we did need cell. And the editor told us, compile or whatever. So, so the one thing is there were less places where we needed, but the fact, like, we didn't have a compiler to tell us where we didn't need cell. So, like, maybe even if it was not the minority, maybe even if it was the majority, having the compiler to tell us would have been a good idea. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it was 50-50. I think that this wins.
Yeah, if it's 50-50, I think this wins. I think I'm with you on this. But now the question is where does it, or where is the compiler? Like, I guess maybe one of the issues is how long you're in the red, right? So if you have like a million places where the compiler is telling you, maybe that's not the right place to do it because you're never going to get done. But on the other hand, I really do like that there's something to tell us. I wonder if there's a way you could use both. Sort of have the compiler tell you, and then flip, and then does that make sense what I'm saying?
I think so. I don't. I think we'd need to try it in a couple of cases to see
Yeah.
how it looks.
The other thing that happened when we extracted cell is we didn't nothing the only things that went to cell were the things that were needed.
Mm-hmm.
But when we extracted location, there were a lot of things that could have moved to location but didn't because we didn't realize that they could. Right? Like I feel like I feel like the way we did it the first time required a lot more of us being aware. Did you remove values straight away when you separated location out? Yes. Value is not part of location ever.
Last week or this week.
Oh, today. Today, so we just renamed cell to location, and then we separated it. Yeah. And the separation went really quick. Like that was almost joyfully quick.
So last week, I remember thinking we should have done this refactoring a lot sooner because it would have been easier. And this week, I'm not having the same reaction because this went so smoothly. It's okay with me that we waited this long.
Yeah. Oh
So
yeah, that's super interesting.
So my judgment about what we should have done is really different this time.
Let's put that into patterns. And this goes, I mean, so I talk about this a lot in Agile, where it's like Agile is all about accepting that you're going to make mistakes and making them cheaper, right? Because to a large extent, how big a mistake is not measured by the mistake, is measured by the cost,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which is an interesting thing, right? Because it's like you don't think of like how big a cake is being measured by how much someone paid for it, right? Or how fast a car is by how much people are willing to pay for it. Like it feels like there should be an objective measure of that, but the bigness of a mistake is really made by how much it cost, right? So if you accidentally walk into a street and there's no cars, well, not a big mistake. If you accidentally walk into a street and there is a car and it hits you, huge mistake, like life-changing mistake, right? But it's the same action, right? It's just the consequences are different. And like I've noticed this in spelling, right? It's like my spelling is not any better than it was when I was young, and in fact, arguably it is worse. But I'm not paying the same cost because spell correcting is helping me out so much, right? So it's not a big deal, or it's just not expensive. And so here we have now a cheaper way of paying for that mistake. And because it's cheaper, we don't feel like it mattered, which is, I think, totally valid. Although, given how cheap it is, it still would make me want to use it even earlier. It just doesn't bother me as much that we did. Right? Like it still
Mm-hmm.
feels like as soon as we recognize that, we should have fixed it. Especially now knowing how cheap it is. Let's shift to masks for a second. So I think there are two things that are going on with the masks. One is there's confusion because that we're using bit shifting, right? That's always problematic. The second is I believe that is very mutating state. Does that make sense?
I mean, it is a really strange thing that we put a collection into an object and then we manipulate the collection after the fact.
And I
And the
think that's
object's
not
like,
the only place we manipulate that collection after the fact.
mhm.
I think there might be other places where that collection is getting manipulated. Um, and those two things together are problematic. I think that's why. Well, I don't understand why that's that thing we just wrote doesn't work. I very much want to figure that one out. But um, I think those two things together are causing a problem. Right. Um, I have new plans on how to attack that next time. I think we might be able to collapse that into a link statement.
Do we want to make a
A
to-do
note,
comment
yeah, is digit
for this?
possible? Fix this. Start here.
Do you want to make a note about what you had in mind, or it'll be
Um,
obvious next time?
uh, refactor this into a link statement is what I want to do.
This function?
Yeah. Using possibilities. Yeah.
All right. I noticed we had an active Claire in chat today.
Yeah.
Sometimes our chat is very quiet.
Yeah, that's true.
Uh, Thanks, Claire. Um,
Yes.
for me as a driver, I it's really hard for me to track Llewellyn and chat.
Yes.
Sometimes I can look at chat, but I never know how long it'll be until I get a chance to look there. And I feel like there's a parallel here with real-time mobbing where multiple people are yelling ideas and somebody's feeling overwhelmed. We're actually trying an experiment right now. I don't think it'll last long, but it's a good experiment, which is only the navigator and driver are allowed to speak unless the navigator asks for input from the rest of the mob.
Nice. I usually use that early in a mob's formation,
Yeah.
but you're not early in your formation. Can you talk a little bit about what motivated this experiment?
So I think that you're used to using that when the driver gets overwhelmed. Is that right?
I'm used to starting my mobs that way
Okay. So,
because otherwise the quiet people don't learn to talk.
okay. So I think of it as a driver, I'm getting instructions from every angle. I can't handle it all. How do I mitigate that? But
Yeah.
in this case, it was the navigator that was getting overwhelmed.
Okay.
The navigator wanted to focus on the problem, think about what they wanted to do, and give an instruction to the driver. And hearing the rest of the mob talk to them at once, they felt like they couldn't do that. Like,
Yeah.
I just want to have quiet for a while. So that's why we're doing this experiment.
Oh, interesting. Oh, that's very interesting. So you don't have the problem that you're not trying to get everyone to learn how to talk.
Right.
You're just simply saying like, I need a way of mitigating focus.
Mm-hmm. And
Cool.
it's actually having a really one good consequence, which is the talking sometimes takes us away from doing. We want to bias towards doing things and see
Absolutely
what
biased towards
happens.
action.
And so somebody's like, oh, wait, I have an idea, and I have another idea, and I have another idea. And instead, the navigator is just saying, here's what we're going to do. And so we're actually moving more. Whether it's the right direction is a separate question, but we're moving instead of considering moving
Yeah.
more. So I feel like there's something from this that we need to keep. I don't know what it is yet, but
Interesting. Um, what I feel like just a gut reaction to that, is that you might want to make a sort of like safe word is the wrong word, but like a word that can sort of say right now I need focus. So rather than having it as a full operation, allow the navigator to signal, like, hey, like I'm invoking for my session, basically. Like while I'm navigating, I want a quiet, like or a ask only.
Mhm.
You need like a word for it, but yeah.
Mhm.
But then the other thing kicks into what I was thinking, which was there was part of me as we're going in here is like, maybe we should just pull Claire onto the Zoom call.
Mhm.
What do you feel about that?
That would have been fine with me.
Because I as a navigator, I had the same problem, but not my issue wasn't that Claire was commenting. My problem is looking at the iPad
Mhm.
and reading
Mhm.
and paying attention to the screen. Like it's very hard to do both at once, right? And when I'm looking at the code, I can't really tell that like there's no interrupt state, right? So it would have been nice having like the higher bandwidth of Claire in the call. Um, so like just let's keep that in the back of our minds. Oh, we got spammed. So like um, just an easier way of like bringing someone in when that bandwidth like needs to be turned up. Which is something we could have done. Um, all right. Other things before we close.
No, it's good.
Under tools, um, let's put some stuff about Git for a second. And put that over here and that
Mm.
over here.
Where we diffed.
Well, yeah, I feel like, um, yeah, I don't know how to do that. The I feel like we were trying to do some comparison in Git that our tooling didn't really support. Claire mentioned that like Fork or IntelliJ would be a good place to do this. Like Writer, we didn't have either of those installed at the moment.
Mhm.
Um, Often I'm not doing much diff in Git um, because this is more like a historical thing. But here we're trying to compare sort of two techniques. I don't like. I feel like this is one of those things where it's like if my understanding of the tooling was better, then it would have been better. Like, does that make sense? Like, I feel like there's some tooling expertise here that I didn't quite understand properly. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Git diff is a weird beast because Git wants to think about which commits are or are not present.
Yeah.
And what you're really asking is, you want to look at source code, and Git wants to think about commits. So,
Yeah. I mean, I guess one way we could have done it is we could have checked out two different versions in directories and then done like an in-crunch diff.
mhm. And crunch beyond compare.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Thank you for understanding what I meant and not what I said.
So GitHub has 2 dot versus 3 dot
Yep.
diffs, just
Compares.
like